It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. So, my brother bought this Keychron K2 online for $9. Cash Converters here is kind of like a pawn shop where, you know, people will take stuff in to exchange it for money, either on loan or to sell it. And they have this K2, but it was missing the case, a battery, and other bits and pieces. So here is what came in the box. Now, this Kindle Paper 2 battery is completely separate to this, but my brother basically just got this. So it's got some Keychron Reds, it's got a plate, it's got a working PCB, there's no battery, no JST connector, and the Mac OS, Windows OS switch is broken. USB-C port works, and the switching between wired and wireless works as well. So he asked me if I could help him make a case, which is what I'm going to try and do. So these M2 standoffs are mine, by the way, but I went digging in my collection of spare bits and pieces, and I found some of my M2 hardware because I measured the holes and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be M2 hardware, and I was right. And these are M2 by 16 mil standoffs. Probably could go lower, but it was because I needed to clear the height of these capacitors, or this capacitor honestly, and the JST connector. Plus, so my brother went and dug around and found that the Kindle Paperwhite 2 battery has the right voltage, a 3.7 volt, and the capacity is suitable for this particular keyboard. So his intent is that he's going to get a JST connector, and then we're going to solder up the power connections to this battery, and this would become the power supply for this K2. At least that's the idea. But he doesn't have a case. So I'm going to try and make him one. Now, he doesn't want anything fancy, doesn't need anything fancy, he just needs a case. Now, I realize that there is not enough standoffs in here to fill all spots, but I've tactically placed the 4 in the corners, and then I've got 2 in the middle, and then I've got the 1 down the bottom near the space bar. And just by pressing on these, there's a little bit of flex, but it's not too bad. And I wouldn't expect that with all of those attached, the number key is going to be too much of an issue. Not going to be doing too many hard presses on that. And then everything else is quite stable on those 7 standoffs that I've got. So that's the plan. I've gone and dug around, and I've had a look at my scraps pile, and I've got a bit of this marine ply. So I think this is 12 mil, something like that. Just have a quick look. Yeah, so it's 12 mil ply. It's not furniture grade, so it doesn't have a nice, super nice finish on it, but it doesn't really matter for the purposes of a rough case. And my game plan is to basically measure out and trace. I can just flip that around because it won't really matter. Around the actual PCB size, I'll draw that out, and then I'll also measure the height between the bottom of the standoff where I intend to have these M2 nuts in, and then from the bottom of the PCB, or in line with, sorry, to the bottom of the plate, or in line with the top of the plate. It doesn't really matter. Could be a little bit higher if I wanted it sunken in, but ballparking it, I think there is plenty available here to cut all the pieces I need to do just a butt join box. And that way I'll be able to have a case. Then what I can do is I can just put a little bit of, say, like marker on the ends of these M2s. I'll be able to flip it over, drop it inside that shell, give it a bit of a press to mark on the actual timber. For example, just doing it then, that already left a little circle there. I'll then be able to get my punch a little bit of a hole. Then I can put these nuts in there, hopefully with maybe a little bit of adhesive that won't fill the thread. I don't really know how I'm going to deal with that part yet. and then I'll be able to screw the standoffs into that and then drop the PCB back on top, screw it in, and that should be okay. Of course, I do need to take into account the position of these holes and then cut that out appropriately so USB cable and the switches are going to be accessible. That is the game plan. That is what I'm hoping to do. Now, with the unreliability of the battery length on the GoPro now, and obviously I typically do quite long videos, I thought I would just cut out the middle process of me actually sawing it and planing it and cleaning it up and all that kind of stuff. And then hopefully when you see the next part of this video, it's actually going to be the butt joint box finished and then trying to get those standoffs into place, and then maybe cut that again into the next bit, which is fitting it and testing it and stuff like that. So I'm not going to show the woodworking elements of that, what's coming up next, but hopefully when we see the next part of this video, you will see a completed butt joint, maybe a finger jointed, probably not dovetail case for it, and then we'll work on trying to get the actual mounts and their positions correct, etc. So hopefully we'll get to that point, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, happy clacking.